Hello, hi. Hi. Welcome. Happy Mother's Day. Yes, I'm so glad we got some whoops. Yes, if you didn't realize today was Mother's Day, I'd say go out and get flowers, but I promise you they're all gone by now. Trust me, I know, and I'm in trouble. So, good morning, welcome. My name is Elisa. I'll be your MC today. I'm pleased to welcome those here in our community center and those joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube to Kansas City Oasis. Since 2014, Oasis has been the premier secular alternative to faith-based community. We welcome all, regardless of belief or non-belief, race, gender, sexual orientation, identity, or any other trait. We feel the human experience is best when shared, and we are so happy you are here to share it with us today. Here at Oasis, we gather around 5 core values here. First, people are more important than beliefs. Reality is known through reason. Human hands solve human problems. Meaning comes from making a difference. And be accepting and be accepted. Today's program, we've got our featured speaker is Tom Alonzo of Equality, Kansas. For our musical guest, we have, I believe it's Parker Mason. Yes, it's Parker Mason, I'm sorry. And then for our community moment, we have Stephanie Reed. I don't see Stephanie there, yes. I was like where are my eyeballs at? So first we're gonna welcome up Parker. Parker Mason is a singer-songwriter from here in Kansas City, playing and writing as part of an indie rock outfit, Car Microwave, since 2022. Parker has gone on to play as part of Landline and Joshua James and the First Aid Kit. Most recently, he's formed a new project entitled Haikus for Emus, however you want to say it, who are excited to release their first record entitled Someday It Won't Matter on August 14th. So please give a warm Oasis welcome to Parker Mason.
Thank you so much. It's a real treat to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and it's lovely to be here with you all. I'm going to echo that sentiment and wish you all a happy Mother's Day. I'm remembering my mother who passed away a couple years ago, and so the song is for her. It's called Random Summer Day. What happens when the town that you grew up in starts to feel uncomfortable and strange? You set off on your own and you never went back home, and when you did you found that everything had changed. Always at the end of times and never at the start. We set off once to find ourselves, but we never got that far. We always end up back here, back where we are from, all the way back to square one. You told me that you couldn't believe it. Everything looks different now from how we recall. I couldn't recognize it at all. It could have been another dimension. No, something's off, but I'm not sure what it is. If you rewind, Google Street View back in time, you'll see how it used to be. Look at your old bike, the Camry your mom used to drive, and the house before the siding got redone. 2008 feels oh so distant now, but I know you're in there somewhere, and you're never coming out. 2, 3, 4. I always end up back here, the place where I was raised. I wish I could reach through the display. I wish that I could go in and see you. A snapshot of a moment, a random summer day, perfectly preserved in its digital display case. La da da. Da. Da da da. Well, at least I know where to go if I need a line to you. Thank you. Thanks so much. So yeah, I am putting out an album with this new project, Haikus for Emus. For a long time, I played in a band called Car Microwave, and I don't sing in that band, but I write some of the songs. And so this one will be all me, which is scary but exciting. So this is one more off of that one coming up. So this is called 1998. A cracked cassette that you hadn't played in a couple decades sits on the shelf, doomed to a dusty decay. I picture you in your 90s Accord that you couldn't yet afford. The moon peeking through the sunroof, turn the volume up to hear the tune. Alanis Morissette, a jagged little pill, cigarette in hand, running for the moment and the thrill. Just so scared that you would be late. 1998. A silhouette where someone once was, cut out from the picture because life was fraught, not the man that you thought, or maybe you just didn't care. The years grant a new perspective, and I think there's something really valuable there. If you had the chance to do it all again, you always maintained that you wouldn't have changed a thing. I wish I could say I relate. 1998. I'm closing in on the age you were then, and I wonder if we'd have been friends. In some ways we're exactly the same, and others are nothing alike. You crave your quiet living, and I'm not sure that I'll ever follow you there. And I know someday it won't matter what we said when we were so young and so bold. They will be what happens then? Will we start again? Once more with feeling. Hey, thanks so much. See you in a bit.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. All right, real quick, I want to shout out, we've got a few birthdays this week. Do we have, let's see, we've got Carolyn McMahon? McMahon, okay. We don't have Carolyn here. Jennifer Barnes for May 14th. Vacation, as you should for your, yes. All right, well, if, yeah. I do want to say for Carolyn, though, that's very special. It's also my sister's birthday, so yeah. Does anyone else have a birthday or anything celebrating this week that we've missed? Yeah? Hey! Woo! 14th anniversary! Can I get a name? I'm sorry for anyone who isn't here. Do you just want to... Dear Lombard? Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Congratulations. Oh, and speaking of congratulations, we got, for our volunteer of the week is Beth Bolyard. Beth has been lending a hand to Oasis for a while. She often helps with coffee and cleanup. Beth has participated in the parades that we attend and has mended costumes for those parades. She has volunteered at Micah Ministries and helped with the rummage sale. Beth is ready to assist when needed. So thank you, Beth, for, I don't think Beth is here today, but thank you through, if we see this video, thank you so much for helping out. And also, you realize that this means that Beth can truthfully say that she has stitched up a triceratops. That's pretty hardcore. Now, as you know, here at Oasis, one of our core beliefs is human hands solve human problems. A part of how we make that happen is through our care response team. Let us know if you would like to join this team, and if you're going through a challenging time, need some assistance, the care response team is here. Please let us know of any retirements, weddings, births, or deaths in the family, illnesses, hospitalizations, or anyone you know who would appreciate us reaching out, especially if, let's see, if you know someone who needs a little extra pick-me-up, contact Sarah Geelan, who can arrange for our Someone at KC Oasis Loves You yard sign to brighten their day. And if you don't already have Sarah's number, I'm like, anyone who has a yellow lanyard, I feel like could probably tell you. Sarah's pretty well connected, I think. Please make a donation to Oasis and have their address available. Then Micah Ministry. Micah Ministry serves hundreds of people a meal on Monday evenings from 5:15 to 7:15. They help anyone regardless of race, gender, religious or non-religious affiliation, sex, sexual orientation, or any other trait. Join us tomorrow in helping our less fortunate neighbors. And if you guys haven't done it before, it is the easiest volunteer work you'll ever do. I've had a harder time parking every time versus the actual work. And it's so fulfilling. And then, oh yes, Tuesday, week 2, 4-week Charleston tandem dance class. Beginners are welcome, no partner required here. Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m., $15. And then on Thursday, this Thursday, so it's like second Thursday of every month, so May 14th, Recovering from Religion hosts a support group meeting here in this building on, 7 to 9 p.m. And this is very much recovering from religion. This is not like, oh, welcome to the Atheist Club. It's like, look, if you, whatever faith or non-faith, your experience, like, all comers welcome if you just want to talk to people who have had difficulties with religion. That's all it's about, and it's extremely supportive. And then, all right, KC Oasis Campout, Watkins Mill State Park. Make your reservation now if you want to join us for an Oasis Campout. There were only a few campsites left in the loop, or others are reserved. More info and their website can be found on our event. It's like on the website, on the events part of the website. Contact Sally Menden if you have any questions or need assistance reserving. This is the last weekend in May, not Memorial Day weekend. All right, Pride tabling. KC Oasis will be tabling at KC Pride Fest, June 5th. That's the Friday to June 7th, Sunday, you guys know. And we love our help, and we love your help representing our awesome community. This is a super fun way to connect with people, support queer and non-religious visibility, and still enjoy Pride. We need 3 volunteers per shift, and the shifts are only 2 to 3 hours. You can stay for free after your shift on that day. This is one of our biggest visibility events of the year. It really matters that KC Oasis shows up strong. So see Julie Manning if you have any questions. Is Julie here today? No, I would know if she was. Okay. So David? Yep, okay. Yes, we've got David over. You can ask questions as well. All right, and now it is time for our community moment. Community moments are an opportunity for a member of our community to present on a topic of their choice during a Sunday gathering. Today's community moment, we will hear from Stephanie Reed. 3 words to describe them are independent, analytical, and casual. And if they had a warning label, it would be keep out of direct sunlight. Everybody, thank you, Stephanie.
Hi, so this community moment is about my electric motorcycle. All right, so it is a 2020 Zero SR. It is a real street legal motorcycle. It has a VIN number, a license plate, and insurance, all the things. I got it from Letco Cycles in Olathe, Kansas in 2021. So it was a dealer demo unit, which means that it was less expensive and it came with a lot of accessories already. So that was pretty cool. People ask me, who makes it? Zero. Like the Zero Motorcycle Company. It was founded in 2006 in Scotts Valley, California by Neil Psyche, former NASA engineer. Yes, and it was called Electrocross at that time. They made electric dirt bikes. A fun fact about that, it was literally a dirt bike with a forklift motor on it. Yes, and to this day, Zero motorcycles still use a Sevcon motor controller, which I find hilarious and awesome. Yes, so in 2012 was when they first made the Zero S, which was the motorcycle for the street, and using this body style, which they kept until 2022. So that's what mine looks like. It has basically the same parts that you would see on any other motorcycle, like there's wheels and handlebars, but there's a direct drive motor, which means that there's no exhaust, no oil, no clutch, no smells, no stalling. The square in there is a 14.4 kilowatt hour battery. And above it in the fake gas tank is a 6 kilowatt charger where you can charge it. Oh, man. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to put on my pedantic hat here. This is not a charger. The charger is the thing inside of an EV that converts AC to DC. This is an EVC SE, that's electric vehicle supply equipment. It's literally just an outdoor power outlet with a meter on it. And there's a little card reader. You can put your phone on it to start your charge. And depending on who owns it, you might pay by the kilowatt or pay by the hour or minute. But most of them in Kansas City are free. Yes. So this is how charging works. You can charge, there are 3 different ways to charge an electric vehicle in general. There's level 1, that's like a wall outlet. It goes at about 1.4 kilowatts. The math is really simple. If you charge at 1.4 kilowatts for 1 hour, then you get 1.4 kilowatt hours added to your battery. Therefore, it would take about 10 hours to gain 14 kilowatt hours in my motorcycle. But guess what? Like, I spend 10 hours a day parked at home sleeping. So it's not really a problem. Level 2 charging, that's 240 volts at 6 kilowatts. Doing the math, that's about 2 hours. It's a little more complicated than that, but I don't have time to talk about it. And it uses these 2 types of plugs, the J1772 or the NAX Tesla plug. Yes. Now there's also level 3 charging or DC fast charging. This is like a Tesla supercharger. It bypasses your onboard charger and puts DC current directly into your battery. I do not have that capability. So please stop telling me that you saw a Tesla supercharger station in Independence that you think I need to know about. But how do I find the charging stations that I want to use? There's a website. It's called plugshare.com. And you can see a map of all of the charging stations that have your preferred plug style or preferred speeds. You can filter it by any which way. And there's ratings. So if you go to one and it doesn't work, give it a bad rating, and then people won't go there. Also not pictured on this map is my house, where I have a level 2 charger. The next thing people ask, well, is your electric bill really high now with all that EV charging? Not really. Electricity costs 12 cents per kilowatt hour at my house from Evergy. One full charge is about $1.68. So I ride about 7,000 miles a year, so that comes out to about $118. So no, I do not notice that extra $10 a month on my electric bill. Meanwhile, if I were to drive 7,000 miles in my gas-powered car, I think gas costs $3.69 a gallon. I don't actually know. Yeah. But so at 30 mpgs, you're looking at 233 gallons of gas, or $861. Yes, and Evergy has a cool thing where if you buy this ChargePoint Home Flex Level 2 charger, then you can get a $500 rebate from them if you have it installed by a licensed electrician. So I did that, and it was almost free, including the installation. Thanks, Evergy. So, how do I use my electric motorcycle? Well, I ride to work pretty much every day between March and October. I go shopping. You know, you can save a lot of grocery money if you only buy what fits in a backpack. Yes. You can be in parades. There's me in a parade. Let me tell you, like being in a parade with 50 gas-powered motorcycles idling next to you, it's kind of smelly and loud and hot. But don't tell them I said that. But still, like electric bikes would be way better for parades, really. Yes, and then I also like joined a motorcycle riding club, and they are always wanting me to come to biker rallies and do scavenger hunts with them. So I do some of that stuff too. Here is like how I ride to work. It's really easy. Add some fun to your day. You can get like 150 more riding days in a year. This is my cubicle at work where I put my helmet and my gloves and my jacket. And I just wear my riding pants and my boots. These are riding pants that I'm wearing here. They've got like Kevlar thread in them, so they're very safe and comfortable. Yeah, I mean, the only confusing thing about it is I don't know if I'm supposed to park in the motorcycle parking spot or the EV parking spots. Yes, and then for scavenger hunts, every year there's a theme. My favorite theme was in 2024. It was to ride to murals. And so these are some of my favorite murals. I saw 128 of them. My favorites were, see, there's this one from, I keep pressing the wrong button. There's that one from the VFW in Lawson. This one is from Joplin. This one's North Kansas City. And this Easy Rider here is from Perry, Kansas. But it's fun. Like, I would have had even more than 128, but the rules of the contest limit you to 2 murals per city. Yes, so I've just had a lot of fun with my electric motorcycle, and I think it's great. And I hope that this has answered some of the most frequently asked questions about it. And if anybody wants to see it more, I have it parked near the door outside. So, thank you.
Thank you. 2 murals per city? Are you kidding me? I know. I'm like, surely we're not the exception to this rule. Like, come on. Okay, so we're coming up on a coffee break now. During coffee break, try to introduce yourself to someone you don't know, and see the TV over the center doors for upcoming events and information. And we'll see you back here in 20 minutes.
for crackling to find out if the online streaming. So if you're watching from home, hello, and you can ignore this. But we're doing some audio testing. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Take 2 on the mic check. Take 2 on audio check on Facebook and YouTube. Checking to see if we can get rid of the crackling noise. Not the Neil Diamond crackling rose, but the audio crackling noise. Testing 1, 2. crackling audio. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. We're going to see if we can get it figured out for you. Thank you for your patience online listening if it's been a little bit crackly. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Trying to see if we can get the crackling to stop.
Bah! Not quite. And back in here. I did. I broke it again. There we go. Okay. All right. So yes, at this time, let's welcome Parker back for another song.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed your coffee break. I certainly did. Again, it's lovely to be here. All right, I'm going to do one more off this new album coming out. I think a lot about our world and the state of it, and I'm sure you do too. And I think there's this marked difference of like being a kid and you're sort of scared of like monsters and you're scared of the dark and being without your parents. And then at a certain point you get old enough and you start to be scared of like the state of the world and climate change and the state of our country and everything. And I don't know. It's like, when is the day that happens? You know, that's what this song's kind of about. Phosphorescent stars super glued to your childhood bedroom wall kept you safe from the monsters in the hallway. Now you come back home, try to make out constellations, but you know they're haphazardly placed. There is no rhyme or reason at all. You still say the things that kept you wide awake back then. In hindsight, pale in comparison to what you're dealing with now. And scary things the movie screens never taught you to fear suddenly seem paralyzing. You wonder where the years slipped away to. Living on your own in a rented house, staring down at your phone, contemplating the ending of it all. When did it go wrong? All your friends pretend that everything is fine, and you happily play along. And we will take the wins where we can get them. We'll take this thing one day at a time, marching towards a most uncertain future, waiting for the morning to arrive. And in the meantime, whoa, whoa, whoa. To fall asleep 'cause our dreams glow in the dark. Traveling by broken headlights, at least we can see the stars. I wonder what we look like from up there. Wonder what we look like from up there. Wonder what.
Thank you so much, Parker. All right. So now we come to the point of our main speaker. Please note our disclaimer. Our program is designed to generate conversation and engage our powers of reason, not as a forum to start debates. The following presentation has been prepared by our speaker, not by Casey Oasis. Please respect the views of our speaker, and if you have any questions, a Q&A portion will follow. So our speaker today is Tom Alonzo. Tom is the chair and executive director for Equality Kansas. He is also the 2nd District Representative to the Unified Government's Advisory Commission on Human Relations and Disabilities Issues, as well as a Rosedale Farmers Market Board member and a part-time farmer. For his extensive bio, see today's event page. So please welcome back Tom Alonzo.
Have to get myself organized here. Okay, thank you for having me back again. This is my 3rd time now speaking before Oasis and speaking on a subject that's near and dear to my heart, being the leader of Kansas Queers and Trans People and being involved in Equality Kansas since 2015 with my friend Barb back there somewhere. And there she is right there. Barb does a lot of work with Leavenworth Family Pride, and she's a big warrior in this region. And I really admire her and thank her for including me in a lot of the things they do up there. Equality Kansas started in 2004 with Thomas Witt, who's retired now from Wichita, joined together equality groups from all over Kansas to make one voice to be heard in the legislature, through the news media, and throughout the state to bring awareness of queer and trans rights. And the organization has done a lot of great work. The problem is now we have a supermajority in the Kansas legislature that has been wreaking havoc on civil rights, and some may think, what do trans rights have to do with me? What do queer rights have to do with me? Well, just remember in 1933 when Hitler took over, and immediately when the civilian government, secular government, transferred power to him, how quickly everybody's rights started disappearing. And it always starts with the most marginalized, smallest groups of people. And if you're not, if you don't care about anything else, and I'm not saying any of you are like that, start caring. Because there's so much apathy in the country right now. And look at what's happening in Tennessee and Louisiana. Look what they're trying to do here in Kansas. So I didn't come here to be preachy. I came here to give information. And thank you for bearing with me. And I'm going to hopefully... Okay. Hang on, I'll get it. I don't need to look back. There we go. Nope, that's the other one. There we go. Yay. Okay. So there is a crisis in Kansas. There are all kinds of crises in Kansas. And this year, not only did we not face soaring property taxes, the water crisis where our aquifer is going to disappear in 40 years and render our agricultural economy worthless, our school funding, which people are still trying to funnel money to private and homeschooling interests. We had the 11th best school district of, public schools in the country 20 years ago. That's not true anymore. We have the mental health crisis. We have aid to families with differently abled children. We're not addressing any of that. What are we doing? We're attacking 2,000 to 4,000 people in our state that are basically powerless. And they're moving. They're moving in droves to New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota. And you know what? We're helping to pay for them to move too, so they can be safe and they can be happy. We raised $19,000 as our portion for LGBTQ Kansas. It's a foundation that specializes in assistance to transgender people and their families, especially to move out of state if that's what they think they have to do. Here's one of the things a lot of mean-spirited, because not all of them are, conservatives don't think about. They're chasing their own kids out. There's no hope here. You talk to young people. I'm old. I'll be 70 next year. I've lived my life. These kids are just starting, I call them kids. These young people are just starting out, and they're telling me they have no hope for the future. Why stay here? And I love Kansas. I lived all over the country, Hawaii, Florida, Texas, when I was in the service for 9 years. I came back to Kansas. And I thought by the time I was 70, the country would be fabulous. You know, we'd have all this stuff going on, and instead we're friggin' sliding back to Jim Crow days, to homophobia, to transphobia. And I get tired of being angry. I get tired of we're all worn out emotionally. I don't know how the other side can maintain this kind of emotion. It'll kill you. My Tom Witt, he had a massive heart attack right before he retired, 4 or 5 bypass surgery. And a lot of that was due to the stress of this job, of fighting bathroom bills, of fighting senators and legislators that propose pulling little kids' pants down to inspect to see what was in there to make sure that they're in the right bathroom. And I'm sorry this is graphic, but it makes you wonder where people's minds, and these people have kids too. Remember how you felt when you first had to undress in gym class? I know how I felt. And then to have an adult supervising it? Anyway, okay. So right now what we have going on is SB 244, which is Senate Bill 244. It has become law. This has made it illegal to be trans. My words. That people can inspect or call you out in the bathroom and get the police and say, this person doesn't belong in here, which nobody has done yet, by the way. There have been no arrests. In fact, an activist from out of state came in and announced that she was going to go use the restroom, and the Capitol Police weren't interested. And why should they be? So SB 244, it has quite a history. When I first started out in Equality Kansas in 2015, we had just started getting into the hot and heavy with the bathroom bills. And this is, I think this is an ALEC-driven. Are you familiar with ALEC, the legislative group? That's okay, and that's what they want. They don't want anyone to know who they are. It's a large group of funding people that are funding conservative causes. The issue, though, with the conservative causes is they are funding caricatures of conservatism. They're funding the meanness of some forms of conservatism. They're not funding public safety or anything like that. So when you see these bills across the country and mostly in red states, those are the guys that are funding them. And the Koch brothers down in the Wichita area. And some people that fancy themselves as libertarians are not libertarians. If a true libertarian doesn't do stuff like this, okay? Anyway, they start these bills out. They get religion, especially conservative religion, the Catholic Church, the Black Church, and other conservative churches to get behind them. Here's an interesting story. In 1977, Wichita, Kansas became the first city in Kansas to enact a non-discrimination ordinance. Did you know that? Well, Anita Bryant flew in and raised holy hell and got everybody to protest and had the citizens vote it back out. That's where she got the pie in the face, for those of you that remember. Yep. And then she flew out after she'd done her damage, and that started a snowball effect across the country, but Wichita had the first NDO in Kansas. So going back to SB 244, it started out as SB 180 in 2023. It passed at the House and the Senate, and the governor vetoed it. When it went to veto, I am a proud resident of KCK, Wyandotte County. I do a lot of work there because that's my home. But guess what? One of our own helped override the governor's veto. And a Democrat, but he was being influenced by another politician out of Wichita who is now in the Trump administration's SNAP program, Patrick Penn, who proudly told me once, I'm the only black Republican in the legislature. Okay, well, I don't care. You know, what I care about is that you were an Army captain, that you were a professional, that you had the education not to support stuff like this, that you come from a community like I do that needs SNAP, that needs public assistance, that needs assistance getting a good education, etc. But you're doing this. And he got Marvin Robinson to join him, and the veto was overridden by one vote in 4 key queer trans issues, 4 overrides. But here's the other thing. Why are we in Kansas and Missouri sending people like this to the legislature and then turning around and saying, well, this isn't really exactly what we wanted? Are they helping the farmers? Are they helping people with intellectually disabled children or intellectually different children, with the water crisis, with Medicaid expansion? Kansas, one of 9 states with no Medicaid expansion. Isn't that Christian? So anyway, 180 became law, and on July the 1st, 2,000 or more people across the state of Kansas, from KCK, Johnson County, to Dodge City, to Hayes, to little places like Leavenworth and Winfield, Kansas, we got out and we had Pride Never Ends. It was big in Overland Park. We had a small group in KCK, big groups in Manhattan and Wichita, to let people know that you may have passed this law, but we still have our pride and we're still going to keep fighting on. So the ACLU filed a lawsuit that the law went into effect July the 1st, and pardon me, the ACLU filed a lawsuit. So 2 years it took for it to wend its way through the process. And in July the 20, let me get it, I'm not following my own, there we go. Okay. So in July of 2025, the appellate court struck Kobach's lawsuit down and said there's no compelling reason for the state of Kansas to be involved in this. Let them go do their gender marker changes on their driver's license, etc. And so he filed an appeal to the Kansas State Supreme Court, and in September, I think it was, they said, no, we're not going to hear this, send it back to the original Judge Teresa Watson, except not her, anybody else but her, in the Shawnee County District Court. And it was done away with, and people were able to start making their gender marker changes again. And then HB 2426 pops up out of nowhere in January of 2026. I apologize that this is a little boring in relating the history, but there are things people need to know, because all of this stuff happened and 90% of us didn't know what was going on, because there's so much information coming at us, and they know it, and it's quiet. And we didn't make enough noise ourselves. That's going to change. So HB 2426 comes back just like 180. And let me tell you, some of the opposing legislators gave Kobach hell, just like Judge Robinson did in the 2015 marriage equality stuff where she sent him out with his ass in his hands and sent him back to, told him that he needed to do continuing education on trial presentation, etc. I was in the observation room, and I was even embarrassed for him. Anyway, 2426 comes back, and at some point, they realized, the opposing side, this wasn't going to work either, because what they were supposed to have done was fix the loose ends that were in 180. And 180 was, surprisingly enough, the Women's Bill of Rights. There was nothing in it about pay or about equality under the law or any other women's body autonomy. Nothing in there about that. It was about, well, this is a man and this is a woman. Okay, no medical stuff in there, just somebody's philosophical opinions of gender. Okay, so 2426, they realized that wasn't going to work either. So here's what they did. Here's what Kansas does. It's called gut and go. They found this obscure Senate bill, SB 244. They sliced that thing open, pulled the guts out of it, sliced 2426 open, pulled that stuff out and stuffed it in 244. And guess what? You don't have to have hearings. You can send that crap right straight to the governor's desk, and that's what they did. No hearings, no public fora, nothing. It went, and of course, Governor Kelly vetoed it. Let me tell you another thing about gut and go. Gut and go is illegal in a lot of other states, as it should be in every state. It's dishonest, it's immoral, and it's unethical. If you're really into being a legislator, you're not going to do stuff like that's the stuff they accuse all the rest of us devil worshipers of, right? Because we're all liars and cheaters. But yet this is what they do. No offense to devil worshipers either, by the way. So, one of the other things I found interesting about 180 being sent back by the appellate court is that they said anybody but Judge Teresa Watson, that she abused her position and that she didn't study the issue enough and that it needed to go to a different judge. I thought that was compelling, which I'm going to slide over here. I'm half Mexican, and that's what we do. We go all over the place. This is a good point to bring up the proposal to vote for Supreme Court judges in Kansas in August. We don't want to politicize our Supreme Court judges, and that's what voting for them does. They need to keep being appointed by that panel. It keeps the last vestiges we have of partisanship out of the law. Otherwise, we can just have what we have in SCOTUS, right? We can stack that up with all kinds of people that follow the one rule of the one people. In this way, they're not all Republicans or Democrats either. They're genuine people that have been vetted by a group of attorneys, not politicians, a group of attorneys to decide who is going to be the best to lead the Supreme Court. And it has worked. And we don't want to go back to that. So, anyway, 2426 became 244, sailed to the governor's desk. She vetoed it, and it was overridden by crazy. Just crazy. We don't have enough votes. They got out the rest of the moderate Republicans, so there's nobody in there but extremists. Excuse me. And with that, another ACLU lawsuit. And then we had a temporary restraining order with the District Court Judge Douglas County to put a temporary restraining order to give people time to adjust, to go in and I mean, I don't think a lot of us can imagine. I can now because I've been close to this issue. Can you imagine being told by the government, you need to get this, you get a letter in the mail, by the way, telling you you have 3 days to get this changed. or you're going to be subject to arrest, tickets. There's then the law also said a $1,000 or $2,000 bounty for people identified in the wrong restroom, that civilians could do it or citizens could do it. And here's the thing, I wasn't worried about Lawrence or Wichita or Pittsburgh. I was worried about some one-horse town of somebody thinking, I'm going to protect my people, and possibly physically harming somebody or worse, because that's what vigilantes do. And the state has given people permission to be vigilantes. The good thing about it recently is that people have actually stood up and spoken out. Even some conservative people I know is that this is too much. Y'all should have said that way before this. And this is why I keep preaching to Missouri folks too, because your state's getting ready, whoever's in here from Missouri, your state's getting ready to follow the leader. And in Idaho, they just passed legislation, 5-year prison sentence for being in the wrong bathroom, according to them. And it's just going to get worse, okay? And I'm sorry, I genuinely am sorry to preach the gloom and doom. But that's where we're at, and that's why it's important. Everybody needs to vote from the school board level on up. It's that I vote. If there's a vote for the sewer district, I vote. This is where they come from. This is how they start. You can't just wait for congressional and gubernatorial races. So the district court judge ruled against our favor and said that Kansas has a lot of tolerant people in it. Well, this guy was also a Brownback appointee, so if that tells you anything, the case is scheduled to be heard in September of this year, and it's going to go through its 2-year process, provided that we have a good Supreme Court in Kansas like we have now. That's going to end up where SB 180. It's the same kind of wording and everything. And they're going to do the same thing. There's no compelling reason for the state to enact this. Nobody's been harmed. Who are the people that are being harmed by this? You don't see anything or hear anything. Guess why? Because they're in there using the restroom. I don't want people watching me pee either. Okay? I'm real pee shy. Listen, football games and that, I can't do it at a trough, so. So, that's maybe TMI. But anyway, so we're headed down the same path. The problem is these guys are going to get brave, and they're going to try to get it to SCOTUS. And if they get it to SCOTUS, we're sunk. That's why everybody needs to take advantage of the 2026 midterms, and let's move some of this stuff out of here. We have the opportunity in Kansas to get 5 seats and take away. We won't be a majority by any means, but we will at least take away the supermajority. We've prevented actions in the past because we stopped the override of the governor's veto. We also have to get a decent governor in there too. I love Governor Kelly. I've met her. She really is a warrior for all kinds of different people. And she's always been very welcoming to the queer and trans community. She does photo ops with us. She issues proclamations that just make heads spin. Every year in Topeka, we have Equality Day around Kansas Day, January 29th. Hundreds of kids from all over the state, from Johnson County to Liberal to Colby, come in and spend a day with us with queer leaders. Like last year we had Judge Kate Lynch from Wyandotte County, and these young women getting to be able to talk to a queer judge, somebody that went to Catholic school and went up through the system and became her own person and a leader in Wyandotte County. And there's a Methodist minister down in Winfield that has a trans daughter, and he came and spoke on our behalf too against the trans legislation. He's going to Switzerland now though. but all kinds of different leaders for young people to see, and people of color too. That's something that we've lacked in Equality Kansas, is making sure that people of color are represented so that kids can see that there's people like them. There's an old fat queer like me that can do a parade at the Leavenworth County fair parade. Me and Barb did that. But I'll tell you what, these kids see it, and they see some adult out there that doesn't conform to the norms of everybody, and I think it gives people hope. And I'm not scared of anything anymore. I'm nervous sometimes, but I'm not afraid anymore. So this is going to take 2 years to go through the system, and hopefully we'll beat it in the end. But they're just going to come up with something else. Both states, it's coming to Missouri. It's already in the State House. It just hasn't come up. That we either have to put a stop to it or just quit complaining about it. I, for one, am not ready to do that. Okay? This year is our 3rd year Equality Kansas with our Rainbow Tour. It started in April with Gapril at Washburn University with a humongous drag show complete with acrobatics. And a lot of gay men will say, oh, we're sick and tired of the drag queens and this and that. Okay, well, drag queens were some of the leaders that started this in 1969. And there's misogyny there, you know. And the people that want to drop, some of the Democrats on the national level want to drop the trans community out. No LGB without the T. Equality Kansas is committed to that. We all have come too far to start throwing people under the bus. And this is what a lot of movements do sometimes. And you have to watch out for that because it does affect everybody in this room in some way, in some shape, in some form. And some of this stuff, like, opposition comes from fear of the unknown, you know. I know that's an oversimplification. I wish there were more ways we could meet each other and sit down and talk to each other. This is a great forum you all have here to have people be able to exchange information that may not be hearable in a different setting, especially in a church. I'm lapsed Catholic. Can you imagine me doing this at my church, which I don't go to anymore? But I mean, seriously, or to a Southern Baptist, or to a Pentecostal, or Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, I can't imagine that. I'm going to try to hurry up here because I don't want to take too much more time. But we have a lot of hope. Y'all have to vote. I know I'm preaching to the choir. And here's one of the other things I want to leave you with. I didn't pay attention to my PowerPoint. It just kind of came. Is we have to start having the difficult conversations with family and friends. Do you know? No, you don't. I didn't speak to some of my family for 60 days. I didn't go to Thanksgiving or Christmas because I was over it. I was over the nasty remarks that some of them would sit there and make with me, and hello, I'm in the room. Oh, but you're not coming for Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, no. I went down to Florida to see my other brother and their family for Christmas because they don't give me any shit, you know, and I'm too old for shit. Some of you aren't. Some of you don't have that privilege and that I can be by myself. I'm not going to jump off a bridge if I'm by myself for Christmas. And I'm not saying that lightly. I know how the holidays are for a lot of folks. But I don't have that, and I'm lucky. But some of the rest of folks maybe in this room do. And by making that action against them, because I still love them. I never stopped loving them. I put them on notice. I won't come over here. My sister says, you don't want to burn any bridges. Okay, what about my fucking bridges? Nobody seemed to care about that until they found out I wasn't going to come over for Christmas. I'm not being that mean. I don't want people being mean to me, and I don't have to. Okay? So I said I wasn't going to get preachy, and I did. I apologize for that. Um, Thank you. But I hope that I got the message across of how the legislators do this stuff, how they've been able to get away with it. I was telling you about the Rainbow Tour. We go to up to 22 cities a year throughout Kansas. Garden City twice now, Hayes, I've been out to a number of their meetings, doing the Lord's work, preaching the gospel of queer and trans unity, okay? And it's so fabulous. Parents, fathers, bringing their little kid up to your table wanting more information. Where can I get help? I think my kid is trans. What do I do? Man, to me, that is so fulfilling. And now we have a big organization out of Larned, Kansas that's running a foundation that addresses transgender issues better than I can. I can find resources and stuff like that, but we need people in the community doing that and leading that, not cisgender queer people or not queer people telling trans people what to do and where to go. So this is something that's very important to me, is that at one time, half of our leaders in Equality Kansas were trans. So, but guess what? Almost all of them moved out of state in the last year. So some good things are happening, some mobilization is happening, and we need to continue that. And we do that with our Rainbow Tour. And we get all kinds of people. Winfield, Kansas, McPherson, Hutchinson, Garden City, Leavenworth. Leavenworth had Governor Kelly there last year at their Pride. Gardner, Pittsburgh. We have a senator, a state representative that went to the dark side from Emporia, and he's going to run again. He was going to retire as a Republican, but he's always voted with us. They got rid of all the ones that can see logic and rationality. They voted all those people out. So we have an opportunity to vote people back in. And yes, I am preaching some politics because our lives, all of our lives depend upon it. So I hope what I said wasn't too disjointed and that you follow what the process has been going through Kansas, and keep your eyes on the newspaper. We have a website, eqks.org, and you can also, I'll leave information with the powers that be. You can contact me directly. I'll leave my phone number and my email. And if anybody needs to talk more, it will be completely in private. I want to tell you, 2 places outside of the United States have contacted us to talk to us. One is a news agency out of Belgium. The other one is they're setting up a podcast for me and this radio podcaster in Réunion, which is an island off the coast of Africa, that wants to do a podcast on how the community, our community, is affected by the Trump regime. And so I'm really getting excited. I went to Washington, D.C. with ACLU, lobbied members of Congress for I got to do my part for trans soldiers and trans airmen, and met Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego of Arizona. What else? We've had interviews with different people across the country trying to archive the histories of elder queers like me. So we're trying to get as much information, as much education out there as we can. If any of you have any ideas, or if any of you are interested in helping us in any way, we will respect your boundaries and your time. And I want to tell you again, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity of speaking and being my authentic self in front of you all. Thank you.
And I believe we've got some time for,
Okay.
Here we go. We've got some time for Q&A. Make sure if you ask a question, it ends in a question mark. Do we have any? Oh,
Yes, sir. Oh, I got to let you do that, don't I?
Hi. I was just wondering if you trust the mainstream public in Kansas enough that if there was a third party made up of that, would you think they would support your efforts?
I wish I could. The third-party candidates have just not had enough backing. I think in some ways they're not serious enough. Some of them won't talk. I've talked to a couple of them that won't address queer and trans stuff out loud, that won't address women's issues out loud. Last cycle, Nancy Boyda, who wasn't a third party, but she was one of the people that said, meet me in the middle, said, well, I can't really talk about that. And yet she made an anti-trans statement at the beginning of her campaign, and I said, well, you didn't have to say that. So I'm not against a third-party candidate at all. We need something to change. The two-party thing isn't working. I think everybody will agree on that. But somebody needs to step up and with money, unfortunately, and they need to speak to issues that other people are too chicken to talk about, okay? This meeting in the middle is not working. That's my opinion, though.
I'm a reluctant Kansas person. What did you mean when you said don't vote for the Supreme Court?
Okay.
I was a little confused because I would think you would want to vote for them. So why would I abstain from that vote?
We don't want to, our position is that we don't want to start setting up Supreme Court appointees to be voted on by the public, and because what happens is the dark money and the partisanship comes in, and the powers that be can maintain a Supreme Court that is not fair to the entire public. What we've been able to achieve is a balanced Supreme Court in spite of an unbalanced legislature. We don't want to start putting politics into Supreme Court appointees. There's a special committee of attorneys and specialists that vets candidates for the Supreme Court from all parties, from all parts of the legal community, and they have done a very good job over the decades of maintaining a fair and impartial Supreme Court. And this proposition is being fueled by dark money, dark people, by politics, by partisanship. So we're very committed to defeat this proposal to keep the Supreme Courts fair. And I know what it sounds like, because well, why shouldn't I be able to vote for Supreme Courts? Actually, when you look at the history, Supreme Court judges, you look at the history of voting for judges all across the country, it's not good. Did that answer your question? You can get more information online too, because I probably don't do a very good job of explaining it like they do. But my big agreement with voting against a proposal is to keep politics out and to keep the dark money out. And if we're going to start voting for Supreme Court judges, we're in trouble in Kansas. That gentleman back there has had his hand up quite a while.
Hi, you mentioned that there was an out-of-state activist who went into the bathroom and tried to get arrested, but the police were not interested. Is there a general sense in law enforcement that these bills are political theater?
Yes, and one of the things I did as a representative to the unified government was ask them, are you aware of this bill? That what you're going to have to do in public spaces, not just with law enforcement, but in schools and other places, they didn't have any idea. Neither did Wichita, neither did Topeka. I went to the big cities first, okay? But the ones that do know they don't want to be involved in it. This isn't why. There have been no complaints, and we all know trans people have been using the bathroom for hundreds, thousands of years. Same facilities, okay? You've been in one, you just didn't know, because guess what? They were doing their business too. So all the feedback, even from the Capitol Police that I've gotten, is they don't want to get involved in this. There's no reason for them. There have been no complaints.
All right, so it looks like that's all the time that we have. Thank
Okay.
you so much, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
All right. Oh, that reminds me. So I have here, we've got our volunteer task cards basket. So please, if you can, take a task and like something simple, like if you wanted to help with the windows or trash or anything. So grab one that you can accomplish today after our meeting concludes. And once you finish the task, this is the hard part. Trust me, return the note card to the done purple box in the lobby near the drink station. I have inadvertently stolen so many of these things, and I apologize. All the cleaning supplies you might need are in the white cabinet in the foyer right by the lemonade. We need everyone to help keep this place looking great. And then while our musician is coming back to the stage, we want to thank all those who are monthly donors that help keep KC Oasis running. Kansas City Oasis is a 501c3 nonprofit run solely on donations and volunteers. If you like the topics and music today, please consider donating through kcoasis.org/donate or by Venmo. Our Venmo info can be found at the merch table in the lobby, as well as the cash donation jars. Recurring monthly donations through our website are the most helpful. And finally, we have Parker Mason for one last song. And Parker, you were telling me about other special stuff that you've got coming up. It was May 30th at the Rhino. You're doing the...
Yeah, so my band Car Microwave, who Kirsten's in too, she's here too. We're having our album release show on May 30th at the Rhino. That's north of the river in North Kansas City on Armour Street. And yeah, it's been 3 years since we've put out an album. So we would love to have you and see you there. It'd be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I will do one last song, and I just want to say it's been an absolute treat to be here. I'm a first-timer. I'd love to come back. And thank you for being so inviting. And I think now more than ever, it's important to find spaces that offer community and fellowship, whatever that might look like for each individual person. I think this is an incredible space for that. And Tom, thank you for your advocacy. I think you're doing incredible work, and I admire that deeply. So I'll get out of here. I'll do one last song. Thank you so much. This is a Car Microwave song, so we'll do this one on the 30th. Hope to see you there. You and me were thick as thieves when we snuck out the hall. Past the front desk receptionist in your residence hall. We played it cool. Just two peas in a pot, it seemed, but perhaps that was the flaw. Come to find out you weren't happy when you started to withdraw. Just hear me out. And how could it have been any better? I thought we would be friends forever, and I wonder if you did too. Took chances, you're a real go-getter, and I thought we could weather whatever, and I wonder if that was true. What can you do? so naive, we could not believe that the winds would ever change. A couple kids from mid-Missouri who couldn't quite escape are now estranged. I have no ill will, and I have no misgivings. I have accepted this willingly for now. And I have no ill will, and I have no misgivings. I have accepted this willingly for now. And I have no ill will, and I have no misgivings. I have accepted this willingly for now. Now. And I wish you luck in all your endeavors. So I thought we would be friends forever, and we're passing through. Wish you luck in all your endeavors. We were friends forever, and you did too. Toodaloo. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you again so much. All right. So, anyone want to continue the conversation? Join us for lunch at Conroy's Public House. It is the one, your GPS should take you 4 minutes away. Don't let it take you to Leawood. It is in Westwood. And I've never been here, but I looked. If you haven't, apparently there's a thing called Irish curry, and they have it on the menu. It is not just gravy, I promise you. I look, they have a picture of it. It doesn't look like just gravy. All right, next week, our featured speaker will be Bryson Ripley of Veterans for Peace, talking about overlapping issues of the anti-war movement. Our musical guest will be Christian Dixon, and Community Moment from Adrienne Anderson. I saw Adrienne, I thought, nope, okay, some of you know her. All right, before you head out, take a few minutes to help clean up. And we again thank this week's presenters, Tom, Stephanie, and Parker Mason. And thank you for being here or tuning in online. See you next week.
red flags in a relationship. They dismiss your feelings instead of trying to understand them. They make everything your fault, even when it's clearly not. They apologize with words, but never change their behavior. They only act loving when they want something from you. They get angry when you set simple boundaries. They compare others to lower your expectations.